will start our new topic on cloud security, the application level security. What is the application level security means? It is on the application software. So why it is needed? Firstly, we will learn about the why infrastructure security. In the infrastructure security, the application level is required. First thing is that there is a cross-site scripting. Cross-site scripting means there are some script which runs on the cloud and which also run on the host, or you may say that at the user point. So in that case, if your script is running on different platform, attackers may exploit the vulnerability. What is the vulnerability? Any loop inside the security is known as the vulnerability. Whether it is a port, whether it is a network, whether it is anything, IDS, intrusion detection system, from where you got a point through which the intrusion or through which the breach in the cloud security can be accomplished, it is known as the vulnerability. So since there is a cross-site scripting, in that case the hackers may took advantage of these scripting and may find the loopholes inside these applications. So some of the method which is used is the first one is the like SQL injection. Do you know about the SQL injection? If you are a web developer and you developed any app, you are familiar that there is a certain authentication page. Like suppose you are going on any website and you have to enter the username and password. So username, instead of giving the username of password, if a website is not secure from the SQL injection, the hackers may run a SQL query. There is a certain format of writing the SQL code inside instead of username or password, they write the SQL queries inside that. So that SQL query in place of username and password will run on the website and fetch the data. So if you are a web developer, you have to be secure your website through for the SQL injection. So there are certain methods inside the security methods during the web development through which you can avoid the SQL injection. But here we are talking about the cloud computing at the application level. So one of the breach is the SQL injection. They may write any code, and hackers are constantly scanning the web applications. In the previous lecture, I already told you that there are some port which are open, which can be scanned through certain software like port scanner, and with the help of port scanner you can find out that whether the application is secure or not, or whether there is an open port or not. So same thing is here going on. Hackers are constantly scanning the applications. So at the level of applications, you required certain security. So what is the first preventive measure to avoid cloud security is that software development life cycle. Like you are familiar about the software development life cycle. Simple life cycle: code, design, test, deploy. When you are creating any web applications, in that case, at that time, a certain features is given or security features is given. Suppose security features given at the design level, some security feature of the test level, and at the coding level. So by using those security features of cloud security, you may implement the cloud security inside the application. and that is the software development life cycle. Here you see that first is the secure design, second one is the secure coding, third is the testing, and fourth one is the release. Means there is a certain security features which are available at the design time. You have to be implement that, you have to be aware about that if you are developing any application for the cloud. After that there are certain secure coding. At the level of coding you may implement certain secure coding, like I already told you in the previous slide. There is a SQL injection, so there is a certain preventive coding measures to avoid SQL injection. So when you are developing your web application or any website, you must use that security feature. Same thing if you are writing a code for the desktop, or if you are writing a code for the website, in that case you have to be use security measures taken at the time of coding. Same here, secure testing, there are certain methods are used at the level of testing, so those testing preventive measure must be used. And when you are releasing the software, there are certain preventive things which may be applied on the software. So you must follow the secure software development life cycle. Here you are familiar about that there is a certain DOS attack, denial of service attack, or you may say that the second one is the DDoS. More dangerous is the DDoS, denial of distributed denial of service attack. So what is that attack? In the denial of service attack, if you have any server, if you have any firewall, if you have any intrusion detection system, in that case an application or a hacker will run an application which regularly send the or which pile up, or you may say that the large collection of requests will be sent to the targeted application. So when the server or when any firewall system or IDS system receive those requests, it get hanged, and when it get hanged, it usually run on the exception, and when it is run on the exception, it may be easily breached inside that. So you must be familiar that there is a case study that there was a DDoS attack on Twitter on the August of 6, 2009, and brought the service down for several hours. Apart from the distributing cloud service resulting in the poor user experience and service level impact, DDoS not only breach inside the system, but also it degrades the poor performance, and it also affects your pay as you go as well. Means what is the pay as you go? Means how much you use, you have to be paid. If there is a DDoS attack or denial of service attack, in that case your pay as you go or your payment will be increased. And what is the benefit for the hackers if they are applying a denial of service attack? In that case, the advantage is that they got a huge amount of computing power, huge amount of storage. You will be amazed that before the cloud, the hacker has to be make a system vulnerable, or you may say that he has to be find the vulnerable system. They have to be scan the systems. After that, they have to be implement a certain application on that, like your rootkit and Trojan. If you are familiar that about the Trojan is a virus which is used for the accessing any host computer, means you can access all the things, and even you can schedule the targeted PC. So they implement the Trojan or like other applications, and after that that system is known as the infected system. And once the system got infected, it is known as the botnet. Botnet means you may attack the denial of service attack from the different bots, or you may say that from the different infected PCs. So it is usually used by the hacker when they are targeting very high security organization like NASA or any nuclear reactor. So what they want huge amount of computing power to break the encrypted and decrypted algorithms, or to run the scan. So in that case the hacker required the huge amount of infrastructure. But now this task of the hacker get easy with the help of cloud computing. If you find any cloud vulnerable, you may access those cloud through the application vulnerability, and by accessing that cloud they will get a huge amount of computation and storage power. And this cloud is characterized as the dark cloud. End user security is also required. At the end user, what you are using? End user, you are using the browser. So now you know, after that I already read in the class, or you are familiar that there is a web 4.0, I think. So after the development of web 4.0, your browser or your web page or your web capability got enhanced dramatically. It is the one of the feature responsible for the origination of cloud computing. So your browser is your PC. If you are familiar about the Google operating system, Google operating system can run on the browser, or lots of operating system may also run on the browser, or your browser is known as an equivalent to the operating system. So if you are using the browser, in that case you should maintain the browser hygiene and update it regularly, and if there is a flaw, then apply the patch time to time, and you must update your browser timely basis. Who is responsible for the web application in the cloud? Scope of the security responsible will fall into the shoulder of both customer and cloud provider. Means here at the application layer, customer and cloud service provider both are responsible. What is the problem at the side of cloud service provider is that they are not showing off their code or security code. So due to this, a customer can't judge whether the cloud is secure or not. And what is the excuse of the CSP provider is that if they will available the code, in that case the hackers will breach the security very easily. So in that case there is no choice for the customer, they has to be believe on the cloud service provider. One of the example that Amazon Web Services, a organization found a vulnerability inside the AWS which is affecting the database API or SimpleDB in EC2, and that organization informed the AWS that you have a certain problem at the database API at the level of simple DB, but it took around 7.5 months to fix that vulnerability. So you are finding that how much unsecurity at the cloud. Now next is the SaaS application security. If you want to apply application security at the software level, what you have to done? Means you have to be design, architecture, development, black and white box, application security testing and release management. At the SaaS level, what it is showing that some customer wants a software secure, or there's the software which is providing the service to the customer must be secure. They go beyond the CSP, means they don't believe on the CSP. With due permissions, they applied certain testing like black box testing and white box testing. So with the help of this testing, if your cloud service provider is giving you permission, you may secure your SaaS application security. Second thing is that in SaaS application there is an example that Google's have some built-in features that end user can invoke to assign read and write privileges to the other user. And second thing is that it was because of privilege management. I mean, there is a certain one authentication, after that user free to do anything. So once a hacker got a authentication ID and password, in that case he may breach the security of the cloud. So here an example, Google Docs. Google Docs got a problem with the embedded images, and those images were not protected, and these got shared with the other user. Another incident related to the Google Doc was the privacy glitch, and the glitch was inappropriately the Google Docs sharing the small fractions of word processing and presentation document. And that claim was that Google claiming was that it was very small, 0.05%, but at least you may find that there is a certain breach at the level of Google. Cloud customers should try to understand cloud specific access control mechanism, including support for the strong authentication and privilege management based on the user role and function, and take the step necessary to protect information hosted in the cloud. Additional control should be implemented to manage privilege access to the SaaS administration tool and enforce segregation duty to protect the application from the insider threats. But I already told you that what is the main problem in the SaaS application security. Here is the one-time authentication, and after the one-time authentication, user are free to do any changes. So if you are a customer and if you want to use SaaS, in that case you must take a counter measurement, means you have to do work with own. You don't believe on the cloud service provider, and you must maintain the privilege access for the user or use a service which is responsible for the distributing the privilege access. Another problem for the SaaS is that all the cloud service provider commingle their customer data. What is the commingle means here? Means they just shuffle the data. On the cloud, data usually stored in terms of the keys and values, or which is known as the NoSQL data. So when the NoSQL data is stored, it will not store like a you are familiar with the relational model. So data stored on the disk in the form of key and values, and not also that data from the different users or different cloud users firstly got shuffled. So there is a optimization of the memory will be applied, and after that the data get stored. And when the data shuffling is happening here, it may be a threat for the user data. Data is tagged and stored with a unique customer identifier. This unique data tag makes it possible for the business logic embedded in the application layer to enforce isolation between the customer. When the data is processed, it is conceivable that the application layer enforcing this isolation could become vulnerable during the software upgrades by the what is actually that you have a data of certain customer, and that data is attached to the customer with certain ID. If you are applying a ID on a data, in that case it will not be processed by the cloud as such with the ID. It will process as a raw data, so it may be possible that your integrity of the data get damaged, or data during the shuffling will detach from the ID. After that, PaaS application security. Platform as a service, you already know, where the user can develop the app. At the PaaS level, security is applied at the two part. First is the PaaS platform itself or runtime engine, or second one the customer application deployed on a PaaS platform. If we generally look that PaaS cloud provider like Google, Microsoft and Force.com are responsible for securing the platform software stack. They are responsible for the platform software stack. That include the runtime engine that runs the customer application. It also includes the runtime engine. And since PaaS application may use the third applications component or the web service, the third application provider may be responsible for the securing their services. So how they are managing cloud service provider? They are managing their app engine by itself, or they are providing security for their app engine or runtime engine. And if you are using any third party software, any ID or any database, so in that case they will not responsible for the security at the third level party software. The third party will be responsible for the software. And PaaS provide the sandboxing. You are already familiar about that. The sandboxing means one is separated from the other application, or within that sandbox, or with the limitation of the sandbox, any application can run. So CSP are responsible for the monitoring new bugs and vulnerability that may be used to exploit the past. I already told you that CSP will scan the new bugs and vulnerability and any breakout in the sandbox architecture. What developer should know? If a developer making any software, in that case he must be familiar about the specific API. What this API? API means application programming interface. So if you are use any languages, you may communicate with the software with the help of API. So any past developer must know about the APIs which are responsible to enforce the security control. Means he must know about all the security APIs. What is the problem in the API? All the cloud providers have the different standard. Means no one is following others standard, API standard. In that case, if once you lock inside the any cloud, you can't switch over to the other cloud. So it is the disadvantage of application level at the pass level applications. Developers should expect that CSP to offer a set of security features, including user authentication, single sign-on using federation authorization, privilege management, and SSL or TLS support made available via the API. Means it must be expected from the developer that CSP should provide this thing. There is no pass security management standard. One of the problem is that next one is there is a pass security management. There is no pass security management standard. Everybody is going their own way, so there is no security. Like Google App Engine using the Python or data object, and HTTPS as a transport protocol. Similarly, Force.com, which is a app development for the Salesforce.com, is using Apex API to configure security parameters. So all of the vendors are using different pass security management standard. The security feature available to pass application are limited to the basic security configuration. One of the problem for the pass security feature is that it is limited to the basic security configuration, like SSL configuration, basic privilege management, and user authentication. It must be advanced, but nothing we can do. It is limited only to the basic security, and it is up to the cloud service provider. After that, infrastructure is a service application security. You know, infrastructure means you are taking storage and processing power or raw things from the or very basic hardware from the cloud platform. So IaaS cloud provider like Amazon EC2, GoGrid, and Joint treat the application on the customer virtual instances as a black box, and therefore are completely agnostic to the operation and management of the customer application. The entire stack, customer application, runtime application, platform, Java, .NET, PHP, Ruby on Rails, and so on, runs on the customer virtual server and is deployed and managed by the customer. To that end, customer have fully responsible for securing their application deployed in the IaaS cloud. Hence, the customer should not expect any application security assistance from the CSP other than the basic guidance and feature related to the firewall process policy that may affect the application's communication with the other application user or service with the outside the cloud. What these IaaS cloud provider, they think, I already told you that what you are using raw data, means you are using the hard disk, you are using the processor or computing power. Now here IaaS provider is free, means he need not to bother that what is security is applying at your level. His task is just to provide the storage, and just provide the processing power. What he thinks that your application as a black box, means he don't know about your application and doesn't concern about that. And inside the black box, you are running your server and you are fully responsible for making your application secure. Web application deployed in a public cloud must be designed for an internet threat model embedded with standard security countermeasure against the common web vulnerability. In adherence with the common security development practice, they should also be periodically tested for the vulnerability, and most important, security should be embedded in the SDLC. So if you are using any IaaS, you must the SDLC cycle, which I already explained earlier, and there must be, you must mind about all the security countermeasure when you are deploying any software on the IaaS. So that's it for today. I hope all are you doing well. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.